So here we are with a guest, and I'm gonna say, Ryan, we discussed this when this is a special episode, yeah.
This is an Ansem Report.
An Ansem Report. So like in the games, the Ansem Reports are extra content that you neither need nor want.
I think so. This is for the real fans that want to dive in and get non-essential information, the people that want the full experience of the Kingdom Hearts podcast, and you'll be richer for it.
And as vague and cryptic as the Ansem Reports are, I think the purpose of these episodes is to bring in, I've just decided this, to bring in someone who has less knowledge, even than us, of both gaming and Kingdom Hearts, who has some sort of relationship to us or some maybe minimal relationship to the game to sort of speak to that. Would you agree?
Yeah, shed some light
in the
on
dark.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yes.
In the dark. So we've brought in someone who is in the darkness to shed some light. So today's guest,
he's been living with me from May to August, has been watching me in spurts play Kingdom Hearts, and his name is Matt Dial. Matt Dial, introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hey guys. Wow. Happy to be here.
What an intro.
I don't know. What do you want me to say? Like, hey, you want my life story? No. I watched Brooke play a lot of Kingdom Hearts this summer, so feeling minimally qualified.
That's what we're looking for. But before I start, Dial, I have two questions for you. What is your favorite Disney movie? The second is, what Disney character do you most identify with?
Ooh. Oh, wow. That's a good question. Yeah, I think my favorite Disney movie is The Lion King. It's so iconic.
Good company.
Yeah, and I think on that note, part of why I like it so much, the rich, like many different types of characters, and I think I identify most with Timon.
I knew it!
That's not what I was expecting. I will say I see that for you because of the political instability that underlies the underlying current of The Lion King, and also in recent months I did force is a strong word, but strongly suggested that we watch Lion King 1.5, which is the Timon vehicle, and I think that
it gave me a lot of insight into his background, and I identify it strongly. I mean, he's got an anxious parent. He himself is very anxious. There's a lot going on there.
Wow, yeah, and a lot of political instability in Timon's world. Brooke, can you back up that comment, because I don't really know.
Well, in the Lion King proper, you have
yes.
Not in the Lion King 1.5, but you have the hierarchy between the hyenas and the lions, and now in 1.5 you're introduced to that same hierarchy between the hyenas and the meerkats. Everyone is feeling threatened for their own safety. Scar makes what was once a beautiful kingdom into a horrifying dictatorship. I think that it is not unlike what's happening in America today.
And Timon, a political exile, perhaps doesn't feel safe in either of the meerkat parties.
Yeah, exactly. A socialist, just like you.
But that's for a different podcast.
See, this is what did you know that Kingdom Hearts could get political? Because I didn't.
Everything's political.
Can I ask a question, Ryan?
Access granted, yes.
Thank you. My question for you, Dial, is also twofold. And the first question is, what is your relationship to gaming in general and to the series Kingdom Hearts?
Got you. To gaming in general, I mean, I think I've, like many people, obviously gotten back into gaming a little bit more during our shelters in place. But I was sort of historically big on the kind of Halo games back in the day. And so for a while, I kind of the last gaming console that I had was the Xbox 360, and I've sort of held onto that. for years and years. So I wouldn't say I'm like an in-depth gamer. I played a couple of like PC Star Wars games also, but that has more to do with my Star Wars fandom than my gaming acumen. And I guess as far as Kingdom Hearts goes, I
think you're forgetting a very important game called Skyrim.
Skyrim. Well, that's that. I lumped that in with the Xbox 360, like that, Red Dead Redemption. Those were like slightly older games.
The violent games that I avoid in order to play Kingdom Hearts.
Super fair. Yeah. I mean, not dissimilar, like in terms of how the stories operate, like fantasy wise, to Kingdom Hearts, but definitely more graphic. But
you mean when you kill something, balls don't explode out of them?
Yeah, not quite the same as Disney presents balls exploding out of the villains.
I will say, if you shoot me, money will be dropped and green health orbs will come out of my body. That is what flows through my veins.
Yeah. Do you have the lucky, what is it called? The thing that I never have, the skill, the like treasure magnet?
Mystery goo? Oh, yes.
What?
Yes. Mystery goo is what you get from the mushrooms. Anyway, further confusing, Dial. Yes, transitioning back. Dial, what does Kingdom Hearts mean to you?
Oh, yeah. So Kingdom Hearts, I always sort of thought, I never played the games, obviously. Maybe not obviously. I've never played the games. And was sort of first exposed to them this summer. So I'm like, I don't know, familiar with the Disney canon that they're based on. But I always thought, I guess that there was like way more anime and other stories involved in it. I didn't realize that the whole thing was just kind of like involving all the Disney characters. I thought you just kind of like played as them, but did it entirely, which I guess to a degree is kind of what it is. You're like doing a separate storyline.
I would say that you get more into the Final Fantasy characters in the later games. Would you agree, Ryan?
The thing about that question is I don't know who's a Final Fantasy character. I don't know who's a creation for the game. I'm very much ignoring the Final Fantasy half, and like in the Venn diagram of Final Fantasy and Disney, I only care about the Disney and the overlap between Disney and Final Fantasy. I don't care about that other part of the Venn diagram.
I would just say that even if they're created for the game, though, like everyone in Organization 13 is someone that I label as a Final Fantasy. It's like Disney canon or Kingdom Hearts canon,
Exactly. If you've got spiky hair and
a black robe,
you're basically Final Fantasy, and chains and big shoes. That's basically,
yeah, they have giant feet. So I guess to just launch right in before we expose you to and ourselves to an actual Ansem report. What has been your impression of the game so far?
I think my biggest takeaway was sort of what we've discussed a little bit already, where it's like the difference in what I expected the like gameplay and story to be as compared to like fantasy games that I've played before. And it's not that I haven't played like sort of, I don't know, games that are a little simpler in the like battle mechanics and things, where like you hit somebody and balls come out, that sort of thing.
It's just a Saturday night for me.
Oh my God. Yeah, so I guess that was my biggest takeaway. Was I was like, oh yeah, really like it really delves into each sort of Disney character that it involves, like into their world, that sort of thing. I'm a huge fan of the what I've seen is that when you travel in between worlds, the like Star Fox sort of like
the gameplay. Gummy ship. And let me tell you, you're the only person talking on this podcast right now that feels that way.
Well, yeah, as somebody who never played that part but just watched it, I was like, oh, that looks fun.
Wow, you can come over to my house and play the gummy ship for me anytime, because it is easily the worst part of the game.
I've tried, Ryan, to like, I actually was like, I'm going to spend all my money on Gummy Box and try to make a gummy ship. And I got so frustrated that I went back to title screen and loaded the game. So I had my money back. I literally got my money back. I Karen'd the gummy ship. I was like, I need to speak to the managers, Chip and Dale, and get my money back because this product was not what I expected.
Wait, so hold on. I'm sorry. Their name is Chip and Dale?
You know Chip and Dale?
Yeah, as in like Chip and Dale dancers?
Oh, Dial.
Chip and Dale the Chipmunks.
Nope.
Like the TV show Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. You never saw that show on Disney Channel?
No. I guess I'm less familiar with the Disney canon than I thought.
You would reckon. I'm showing him a picture of Chip and Dale.
But surely that's based on Chip and Dale dancers, right?
What came first, the chicken or the egg, the Chip and Dale or the Chip and Dales?
Certainly the Chipmunks. They're from 1943. Wow.
Their names are a pun on the name of the 18th century cabinet maker and furniture designer, Thomas Chippendale. So I'm going to go with...
Wow, we were all wrong.
No.
So I guess, are the Chip and Dale dancers, are they also playing off of the cabinet maker, or are they playing off of the cartoon Chipmunks?
That's one secret I'll never tell.
I don't want to know. I want it to remain a mystery, I think.
So what, Dial, do you think that is the plot of Kingdom Hearts?
So yeah, I guess for reference, I didn't see you finish the game.
For everybody's reference, and Ryan, I know you've sort of played and replayed and are sort of jumping through time in a very Sora-like manner. I, in my replay, have finished Atlantica and am paused, waiting to catch up to this podcast to do Nightmare Before Christmas. So, Dial, you've seen me play every world leading up, at least bits and pieces of every world leading up to that. Go on.
Yeah. So, from what I understand, basically all the Disney villains from the notable movies anyway, come together and form this sort of evil, I don't know, organization and release this thing/these things called the Heartless on...
That was me snapping.
Yeah, on the various different Disney worlds, including this sort of separate island where you, the main character, and your friends are. I know that the friends are voiced by Hayden Panettiere, and the main character is Haley Joel Osment. And then basically you have to go through all the Disney worlds and get rid of the Heartless and plug up a keyhole, because you you have a key that you use as a sword. That was always a little confusing to me.
Plug up is probably the best way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to lock, which is what you do with keyholes.
Yeah, but it's more
stick gum in it.
You get
you get some stucco and you patch that, you plug that shit right.
Yeah.
No one can access that door.
Yeah, that makes more sense to lock it up. But you plug it up, you lock it up. Whatever you do, you keep the bad guys out of the various Disney worlds. That's my impression, anyway.
Honestly, Dial, without having gotten to the end of the game when we learn about the 7 princesses of heart, that is a very good summary of what has happened so far. Ryan?
Dial, you explaining the plot of Kingdom Hearts to me makes me realize how little I actually understand it as someone who's played the game, and how well you've really grasped it. So that feels pretty spot on. I'm very impressed with your skills gleaning the plot.
My follow-up question, in the little bit that you know, has the name Ansem come up at all? Do you know why it's important that there are reports of his scattered throughout the worlds?
Yeah, not at all. I have no idea other than what you have said today.
Great. So on that note, Ryan, would you like to dramatically read for us the first Ansem report?
I would love to. Thank you so much.
Before you do that, sorry, I just want to look up when you get the first Ansem report.
Smart.
I just have where is the first Ansem report? Kingdom Hearts. I love to Google.
That's where the name of the podcast came from.
So
Ansem Report. Kingdom Hearts.
Ansem Report. So you get the first Ansem report when you defeat Jafar in Agrabah. So we are jumping a little bit ahead, but that is how you receive Ansem Report 1, which reads:
Much of my life has been dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. That knowledge has guarded this world well. Not a soul doubts that. I am blessed with people's smiles and respect. But though I am called a sage, there are things I do not understand. I believe darkness sleeps in every heart, no matter how pure. Given the chance, the smallest drop can spread and swallow the heart. I have witnessed it many times. Darkness, darkness of the heart. How is it born? How does it come to affect us so? As ruler of this world, I must find the answers. I must find them before the world is lost to those taken by the darkness. So let's just let that sink in for a second. And with your legal mind, Dial, you've gone through rigorous law school education. I would like you to analyze this text and tell me what it means to you on a legal, emotional, spiritual level.
Okay. So you find this, right?
You're given it.
You are given it. Okay.
By who though? I guess that's the question. You just sort of get it. There's not a transfer.
So I'm assuming that you get it because Jafar is the first villain that you face who is sort of like maybe leaning too far to Jafar into the control of the Heartless.
So maybe he was reading it and he like dropped it, like he had the page.
I think it's meant to sort of give an explanation for what's possible. And also I think we've after the Riku interaction in Traverse Town 2, we're starting to see the sexy aspects of darkness. So I think that this is given to us if one chooses to read it, which no one ever does, unless they're doing a podcast called Kingdom Hearts, which, other people might be. But I think it's meant to serve as like a context for what's happening with the villains, but alas, it's a game made for, children. So continue on, please. Okay.
Yeah. So, if this is context, it's very confusing. So as I understand it, we don't know who wrote this other than that their name is Ansem. He sounds like sort of a sage king. Like he as ruler of this world, he sounds good, like he's trying to stop the darkness, investigating the darkness. What is he talking about when he's talking about darkness? I have actually no idea. I'm assuming like the Heartless. I'm assuming this is like a little mysterious note that you are given. This is report 1, so it's like I'm guessing more gets revealed to you as you go through the game.
Correct.
Yeah, that's about all I got.
Can I give a follow-up question?
Yeah, please.
Returning to the text, Ansem says, given the chance, the smallest drop in brackets of darkness, because it's not contextualized, can spread and swallow the heart. I have witnessed it many times. Have you ever seen a small drop of darkness spread and swallow a heart? Can you think of an example in your own life where that's happened?
So I mean, not to bring it back to politics, but if somebody gets a little too deep in the weeds online, it's like you just see him post one thing, and then all of a sudden it's like they have a QAnon Facebook profile picture. It's like, whoa,
And then my follow-up question is, how is darkness born?
Wow. I mean,
to quote Winnie Holtzman and Steven Schwartz, are people born wicked, or do they have wickedness thrust upon them?
Which I think is always a trick question. I think it's a little bit of perhaps both. Like perhaps you have a genetic disposition to a bad temper. So when things go bad, like, you are prone to the darkness, but also maybe things are going especially bad for you, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I think that Ansem, whoever he may be, is not incorrect in saying that there is darkness in every heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that is a very important through line of the game that is sort of getting brushed over by just presenting it to us via very verbose, optional reading.
Yeah, well, the one thing that came to mind was he calls himself, or he says, "I am called a sage." I mean, this is just classic sage material. Like, he's so wise, but is like imparting very little wisdom, actually. So that's my takeaway from this.
Yeah, I would say it feels slightly biblical almost. Like, it's like I feel like I went to Catholic school, and sometimes a religion teacher, we had religion class 5 times a week, I guess every day, some would say more colloquially. But we would have to analyze these passages in the Bible where I'd finish reading it and I'd be like, what the hell just happened? I have no idea. And then we'd have to go around and like explain to the class like what we got from it. And we formed this group called the Totally Awesome Teen Applications, because we're supposed to apply it to our teen life, or the Tatas. That was our small group name, which went right over the head of my religion teacher. And we would just take like a line and stretch it so far to make it make sense. So I feel like this could almost be, we're already having deep conversations based on this nonsense, really.
Yeah. I mean, so that isn't exactly what happened in my church youth group growing up as well. I mean, it's like, you look at the line there where it's like a drop of darkness. Now, you know what that means. 1 drop of alcohol can consume you for the rest of your life, y'all.
Oh, Ryan, I forget. Did you decide if it was too early to start drinking?
I'm drinking a cup of tea right now. It felt a little early. Yeah.
I have a Pamplemousse LaCroix on me.
Dial.
A very simple glass of water.
It is not yet noon in California.
Yeah, I think that's probably a smart move on everyone's account. Dial, speaking of QAnon, not sure if this is the forum for this.
No, let's bring it back. I'm always interested.
I've created a fake profile on Facebook, and I have joined multiple QAnon groups just to keep tabs on what's going on. And it is.
Is it Jenny Light?
It's not Jenny Light. I think has too many people know of her. It could be tied back to me. This is Andrea. She's her Facebook profile bio. I will say I'm slightly proud of this. I'm afraid of revealing this because I don't want to get murdered.
Don't reveal too much.
People.
You need to stay plugged in. You know.
But her bio is I love all caps Trump. Next line God, my kids, my husband,
in that order.
My country, in that order. That's exactly what it says. So
wait, does it really say in that order?
In that order, all caps, exclamation point, 4 exclamation points. And her profile says, I'm a Trump girl. And so she's been led into all these, I guess it's convincing enough to be led into these QAnon groups. And I'm not sure if y'all know this, but the star that was in the Democratic Party logo for the DNC, if you turn it upside down, it is the face of Satan.
Oh, I think I saw something about that where it's like, well, you know, hiding in plain sight. Well, because isn't the Satan star like just a star also turned upside down? Like, isn't...
That's precisely... I'm sending it to Brooke right now. Yeah, it's... But it just goes to show that, like, even in a political party, one little bit of darkness, Hillary, can just consume an entire party and turn them into Satan pedophiles.
That's exactly right. And only Q can show the way.
Only Q.
Wow. I'm going to bring this back to...
Ryan, we'll talk. Let's do a separate podcast.
Yeah.
Finding QAnon in everything we do. Oh, Ryan just sent it. Oh, my.
Ansem is Q. I'll say that. I'm sorry. That's the last thing I'll say.
No, he's not. Xehanort is Q.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Love it.
Okay, Ryan, I have a Q for you. Who do you think Matthew Carl Dial is in the Kingdom Hearts universe? I have a theory, but I'm curious what you think.
Gender specific or non-specific?
Non-specific. Who do you think this is? We are. What?
Gender is a construct. Yeah. Okay. Can I give two people?
Of course.
I feel a little Nominee from Dial.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe a little Roxas.
I have no idea who that is.
I was going to say Roxas.
Yeah, I feel a little Roxas Nominee.
Especially, like we've thrown him in. He's sort of like, what the fuck am I doing here? Some of these things seem familiar to me, and yet I feel like I don't really know what's happening. And then I'm going to get locked in Sora's heart for, the rest of the game.
Wow, I don't know who this character is, but yeah, that hit the nail on the head, I feel like.
You are, in fact, a nobody. Nominee, can you unpack that?
Nominee, Dial, for your information, she's a witch that controls people's memories, which may not sound like a compliment.
Interesting.
But she's a very pretty witch.
Yes, she's featured heavily in the Kingdom Hearts porn that we found.
Oh, sure.
Yes, she was penetrated anonymously, but
inspiring, honestly.
Yeah. Who's the voice of Nominee? Is it Hayden?
Hayden is Kyrie.
Oh, it's Brittany Snow.
Oh, I like Brittany Snow.
So yeah, that's why I think of you. Yeah, she's a force for good. She understands. Sometimes she's not in control of the situation, but she's a helpful person who's in control and wants to. I don't really understand what she wants to do, but
I think she was created as a vessel for evil, but is fighting it. I will say, I do think that.
That's sorry. Can I just before? I just need to say, like, as a straight white man, Dial, you are a vessel created for evil, but you're like using your straight white manness for good. So maybe that's what's going on here.
I do think that Nominee is a little more ephemeral than our boy.
I can be ephemeral.
Show me. Thanks for listening.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. If you're looking to connect our heart, follow us on Instagram at KingdomHearts_pod. And if you want to enter the realm of darkness that is our lives, follow us. I'm at Brooke Wiseman.
And I'm at Rye Bernstein. See you next week with another Kingdom Hearts Worlds and Kingdom Hearts ratings.
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts.
The podcast.